Yes, welcome back to another video, guys. That's right, today we're back to talk about another movie, and it's one of the most interesting movies that's come out this year. That is Don't Worry Darling, Olivia Wilde's new movie. Now, yes, this is one of the most interesting movies that's come out this year. Why? Because, realistically, this isn't the type of movie which will be remembered in the grand scheme of things with today's cinemas. It's normally the blockbusters, and I wouldn't exactly consider this a big blockbuster. This is a bit more of an indie film with a lot of big actors and a lot of big names in it. As you all know, there's a lot of drama surrounding this movie. We all remember the first screening of it that happened a few weeks back, and that was great. You know, Harry Styles looking like he was spitting on Chris Pine. Actors who just refused to, let alone look at each other. They just wouldn't talk to each other, wouldn't do nothing. There was some snarky comments made and a lot of great memes made. So yeah, Don't Worry Darling has been one of the most fascinating movies to watch unfold, not just through the movie's release, like how it's doing box office, how people are receiving it, but just watching the promotion. I didn't think this movie would be this interesting, but it is, and it's incredible. It's so fun to watch. But anyway, the movie itself has come out, and I think people have taken the drama and ran with it, and this movie is getting destroyed by some people. And I am here to report that, in my opinion, this isn't a very good movie, but the hate is extreme, as per usual. So anyway, let's crack on. This movie is about a couple who are in this very, very strange town in the middle of nowhere, and the men disappear during the day to go to work. And they come back at night, but during the day, Florence Pugh's character starts to realise that there's a few mysterious things afoot. There's some things that are out of place, some things that don't seem right. And she begins to catch on that the world she's living in might not be what she thinks it is. Very, very cool premise. Great. It reminded me of a lot of like a Black Mirror episode. It reminded me a lot of Truman Show. Things like WandaVision a bit as well. It's very much town. Lots of strange stuff going on. And it was really cool. And I got to say, this movie, you can really feel each act individually here. Of course, movie's split into 3 acts, and I thought the first act of this movie was actually very good. I was very intrigued by this premise, and I was interested. There was some horror elements. There was a character that was appearing in like glass and stuff and in reflections, and it had some very quirky horror elements to it, and I was really enjoying that, the whole mystery side of things. I was really looking forward to seeing where things went. Then the second act happened, and it didn't really push towards anything. It didn't really carry on pushing very well. It then just sort of became a bit stale. And I remember thinking near the end of the second act, I was like, I'm really kind of done with this movie. I want it to just explain everything so I can leave. And I think, you know, again, runtime was the problem here. There's just a lot of scenes which just don't really go anywhere in the second act. And then the third act happens. The mystery is revealed. And what's actually happening is revealed. And I'm going to be honest, it was terrible. It was such a poor ending for a movie. Now, again, I'm not going to get into spoilers here in case anyone's watching and they haven't seen the movie. But the reasoning for characters being where they are, and, you know, the reasoning for this world, is truly terrible. It's really, really awful. Like, it's kind of a pathetic excuse, and there's a few other things which really just don't get explained. Like you hear in the trailer, there's a plane crash that's mentioned. They never come back to why that really happened. So there's just a lot of unanswered. There's not a lot, but there's a few unanswered questions with it, which really should have been addressed. And it's just one of the most disappointing endings ever. Saying that, as I say, I did enjoy the first act because the mystery element was interesting and it did hook me. And this is why I don't like it when people give this film like a 1 out of 10 on IMDb or anything. Because, yeah, I don't think this is a very good movie. I'm not going to give it a great score at the end of this video. But come on, it's not like a 1 out of 10. The cinematography was gorgeous. The sets were great. Florence Pugh, man, she kills it in this movie. She's so good. And the score is great as well. And the sound mixing with the score, just fantastic. And as I say, like, all the sets and costumes, everything like that, brilliant. All the other actors that pop up in this, Chris Pine does a good job. Olivia Wilde, you know, the directing is okay. You know, and then her acting is pretty good as well. Gemma Chow, I think is her name, the actress who's been like in Eternals and a few other bits. She was really good in it. Harry Styles is the questionable one, of course. And you know what? He has a few scenes where he's really, really, I don't want to say bad, but he's not good at all. I think the problem with Harry in this film is, and he does do a good enough job. He does a good enough job for about 80% of it, I'll say. The problem is he's standing next to Florence Pugh, who's one of the best working actresses working today in Hollywood. She's so amazing in this movie. She's carrying this film completely. And when you've got someone who's just an okay actor there, it's a shame. And I really do like Harry Styles. You know, I'm not a One Direction fan, but I like his solo stuff. And as a person, he seems really, really good, really, really lovely human. So this isn't me just trying to shit on Harry Styles, because I actually do quite like the man. But yeah, unfortunately, not great. I'm hoping that when the next film he's in, he's a bit better. But yeah, so this film, it's a real mixed bag. There are elements about it that I really did enjoy, and I don't think it was a complete disaster, but it's just that final act. The conclusion of the movie is so poor. Like, genuinely walked out the cinema kind of laughing at it a bit. So, yeah, there we go. I'm going to say for Olivia Wilde, Booksmart was such a solid movie, and this showed a lot of potential still. So I am still excited to see what Olivia Wilde's next film will be. Let's just hope there isn't as much drama, because that's really pulled a lot of people out of this movie. I don't know if it maybe was all done on purpose, because, you know, it's been great marketing for this movie. You do wonder about these things with the way Hollywood works nowadays. Was it done on purpose as a marketing technique? Very well bloody could have been. You know, who knows? But anyway, don't worry, darling. I'm going to give it a 5.5 out of 10. Now, guys, if you do want to hear me talk about this more and talk about it with someone, me and my good friend Ryan, our latest podcast episode is all about this movie. Episode 124, we're really cranking out these episodes now. We've done so many now, it's crazy. But yeah, there's links in the description to that. So make sure you go check it out. We have a good old discussion, both of us going back and forth about the movie. And there is a spoiler section there as well. So if you want to hear me talk about this twist and us tell you why we think it was stupid, then please feel free to go ahead over there and listen to it. It's on many platforms, so I'm sure you'll be able to find one that suits you for your listening capability. But anyway, thank you so much for watching as always, guys. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, like the video, leave a message, and as always, I'll see you next time for another video. Bye-bye.